Fox News just got what it voted for, and viewers and hosts alike are melting down. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. We would say Happy Liberation Day to all of you, but somehow I don't think anyone is having a good day. This isn't the kind of holiday people celebrate. It's more like one of those holidays recognizing penance where people fast or wear black and self-flagellate. Lord knows that's what Wall Street is doing today. I can practically hear the whipping. Liberation Day is so named because Donald Trump has finally, after months of stalling, enacted his 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada, with more to come. Trump thinks the countries have ripped off the U.S. through free trade, which isn't true. Free trade adds to U.S. prosperity. He also thinks the tariffs will somehow reindustrialize the country, but analysts have said that will take up to 40 years, the same amount of time that saw manufacturing jobs leave the United States. But hey, back in the day, the Soviet Union industrialized in just 10 years, and it only took 7 million people dying to do it. Once again, there's a reason people are self-flagellating. Economists have warned that Trump's tariffs will lead to disaster, most likely staggering inflation and a recession. Even Trump's staunchest allies are trying to sound the alarm, but more on that in a moment. Yesterday, CNBC economist Jim Cramer had a near meltdown on air over the tariffs. Take a look.
BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, who writes an annual chairman's letter required reading for anyone in the markets, wrote some fateful words today. Quote, "I hear it from nearly every client, nearly every leader, nearly every person I talk to. They're more anxious about the economy than any time in recent memory," end quote. I come back and say, I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. But let's think about what that really means for you and me. We have declining inflation, except the president's putting on inflationary tariffs. We have incredibly low unemployment, except where it's caused by the Trump administration. We have a market that was doing extremely well last year until the Trump administration sowed a level of uncertainty that I can't recall any time since, are you ready, Ski Daddy, Jimmy Carter, which is the last time people were really worried about inflation, about stagflation, okay? Back then, stagflation was real. Now, Jimmy Carter, curious benchmark. Break out the cardigan sweater. I know it's a brutal comparison. You think I did it idly? I cannot think of another president in my lifetime who could knock down the stock market simply by opening his mouth than Jimmy Carter. Eureka! I have found him. So let's look at it this way. Everything about this economy is good. Everything, except one thing. We have a president who's very angry at everyone except Vladimir Putin. Oh, no, maybe even Vladimir Putin. And his wrath has made investors so downcast and so negative that people have just given up. They want nothing to do with stocks, nothing to do with this world, because they're sure the White House will keep laying on the tariffs that seem to be wiping out your wealth and my wealth. In this environment, it's a wonder anyone's buying anything, unless they think that the one person who's standing in the way of a great economy, one that could have incredible growth with lowered inflation, lower oil prices, less regulation, more confidence, will finally change the stripes.
Bear in mind that this was the man who had a rosy outlook at the height of the subprime mortgage crisis and market crash back in 2008. This is how dour he's looking. Bad omen, kids. At the time of this report, the market was still down about 3,000 points from the time Trump took office, a drop widely attributed to his threat of tariffs. As of today, the markets remain about where they were yesterday, pending more announcements about Trump's tariffs. No doubt many traders are hoping the idiot backs off rather than pushes for more. So no wonder the moistened androids and bleach blondes of Fox News are uncomfortable. It goes without saying at this point that Fox News played a key role in the rise of Donald Trump as politician, often featuring him as a guest on their shows in the 2010s, pushing birtherism and other conspiracy theories. Author Michael Wolff also recently reported that Fox owner Rupert Murdoch played a key role in the selection of Trump's vice presidential candidate. Murdoch, incidentally, had pushed for Trump to pick North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, but Elon Musk won out, lobbying for J.D. Vance. And Donald Trump apparently hates J.D. Vance. So it's telling that Fox tried to deliver news of Trump's tariffs and had a hard time doing it with a smile. Take a look.
But Moody's comes out and they said that an escalation of the trade war could wipe out 5.5 million jobs and lift unemployment to 7%, and GDP could drop 1.7%. That's if people don't come off it, and Moody's is not for it. But the tariffs will apply, will bring a lot of money in on just the tariff goods. And let's see, the ultimate goal is to bring manufacturing back here.
Right.
Ro Khanna doesn't think it's going to bring manufacturing.
Well, Brian, that is the dream. Keep in mind, this is a gigantic experiment like we've never seen before. You know, on paper, it looks great to the president and his team, who were talking about it would be great to bring jobs back to the United States. But keep in mind, people have got to come over here and build factories, and that takes years. And there's a lot of uncertainty on Wall Street and also in the business community about, okay, this new round of tariffs, how long is it going to last? Are they going to last 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? They've got to be able to plan, and that's why the stock market has been all over the place. That's right. And, you know, Jackie, I was just thinking about that. The president's calling it Liberation Day, but maybe we should call it Libation Day because, you know, Wall Street's all over the place. They might start hitting the sauce at 4 o'clock when they finally unveil this thing. I was
maybe even sooner.
Yeah, that's right. I was reading this morning that apparently, according to the Wall Street Journal, some people in the business community and on Wall Street are still banking on the idea that the White House might actually pull back on the tariffs if something bad happens to the economy. And I know Goldman Sachs is predicting now with the tariffs, there's a 35% chance of a recession.
That has been put out there. I think also the impact of a recession on other countries would be more difficult. For instance, with Canada, it will be harder for them to pull out of a recession, which is a big concern for them.
Is it just me, or do they look like hostages there? Blink if you want your broker to sell off your portfolio, kids. I personally enjoy how Ainsley Earhart is trying not to wring her hands in anxiety, so she keeps reaching for papers and pencils. And all of them want to avoid the truth. That, yes, Trump's tariffs are a bad idea, and their stupid network's propaganda played a key role in creating this disaster. There may not be blood on the hands of the Fox and Friends hosts yet. Yet, anyway. But there sure is a lot of red ink. Here's hoping the network gets some sense and starts pushing back against Trump and his tax increase. If they don't, and if the rest of the media and the American people don't push back, we might all be living in Hoovervilles in the near future. Those were the shanty towns that popped up among those wiped out in the market during the Great Depression, in case you don't remember. The clock and the stock ticker are ticking. Let's hope that the real liberation of Liberation Day is for Fox, which can finally help slay the monster they've created. It's the least they can do at this point. This is Occupy Democrats.